I love the additions of Bradley Chubb, C.J. Gardner-Johnson, Jim Littert coming over from the Denver Broncos and anchoring things in that capacity. They may blitz a little bit more. So the defense held this football team back. I'm looking forward to that defense taking a big step in 2026.
Do you agree with the defense?
I do. And I think on top of that, when you factor in a rookie head coach who's from the offensive side of the ball, that could complicate issues even further. This is a team that last year could not make the conference championship game. That's fine. That's not going to be the end of the world. But it was a year in which there was no Lamar Jackson, no Joe Burrow, and no Patrick Mahomes. Can you guarantee yourself you're going to have that favorable of a run set up again? I don't think so. I think Buffalo's missed it. It's going to be a little while before they maybe get themselves back into true Super Bowl contention.
Get the window with the quarterback in his prime. That is so important here. Joe, I want to stay with you. Michael Pittman Jr. and DK Metcalf plus Aaron Rodgers equals what in Pittsburgh?
Another wasted year for the Steelers? Like, what are we doing here? Ben Roethlisberger retired in 2021. This is going to be the 5th season since in which they've been post-Roethlisberger. What are they doing at quarterback? If Rodgers is back, that's not a long-term plan. We saw how he played last year. Would be the best way to describe it. I'm glad you've got some wide receivers for him, but that's not going to solve your issues, especially in a division where you're going against Lamar Jackson and the Ravens.
Yeah, and look, at the end of the day, Aaron Rodgers questions. We still don't know what's going to be in Pittsburgh. So, again, they've got an entertaining offense.
You need a young quarterback. You need to start this thing.
Well, the problem in Pittsburgh is that we all feel like they need to rebuild. They haven't seen that within themselves. But then can you blame them? When is the last time we thought about Pittsburgh rebuilding?
Yeah, they don't do it often. Jeff, finally, I want to get you in here. What did we learn about the A.J. Brown market after the Jalen Waddle trade earlier this week?
Well, we learned actually, Matt, that it is exactly where we've expected it to be all along. This just validates what we've already kind of felt about Jalen Waddle and about A.J. Brown and that trade, which, by the way, is more about when, not if. I still anticipate A.J. Brown getting moved out of Philly. Do not mistake the silence that we currently are feeling around A.J. Brown for being indifference or lack of activity. Eventually, after June 1st, I still think this happens. The Jalen Waddle situation only validates that further. By the way, we look toward teams that can potentially trade for A.J. Brown. The Patriots are the perfect fit in his former coach in Tennessee and Mike Vrabel being there. And the compensation, almost exact, guys. The Patriots hold the 31st pick overall and the 95th pick overall. The Broncos, getting Jalen Waddle, had to give up the 30th and 94th. So it's almost apples to apples in terms of the trade comp. I really think that this does feel like a very natural progression this offseason.
So you think it's going to take just that to get into the A.J. Brown sweepstakes?
I think that Howie Roseman knows how to barter a deal, and I think that we'll still wind up seeing some teams try to step in and change that comp. You could look toward the fact that Jalen Waddle is 2 years younger, but A.J. Brown still perhaps productive. You could point toward injury concerns with A.J. You don't really point toward those with Jalen Waddle. I think at the end of the day, the feeling in Philadelphia, at least internally, it still feels like this is headed. I know what we hear publicly. I know what everybody has to say. But after June 1st, when the dead money changes, I do anticipate action when it comes to A.J. Brown. And I think at that point, compensation, we can still look toward Jalen Waddle. If you need to beef it up a little bit with a different kind of mid-round pick, fine. But I still think that A.J. Brown deal does get done.
I would say this, when you look at the Eagles' offensive system, and you can't ignore the fact that they just signed Hollywood Brown. Now, guys of his size, speed, quickness, they have thrived in this offensive system. But at the same time, Sean Mannion, he came from the Green Bay Packers. Now, the Packers early in the year, their number one was Tucker Kraft. The reason why this is significant, Devontae Smith is going to be the number one. I'm not saying Hollywood Brown is going to be the number two if they decide to part ways with A.J. Brown, but I do believe that's going to now become Dallas Goedert. There's a reason why they re-signed him, right? And Sean Mannion, he's going to do everything in his power to make sure that his tight end gets the football, especially because that was a place he came from in Green Bay where they got the tight end football.
And it gets to the point, too, guys, and you know this better than anyone, within a locker room, there's a relationship, right, between quarterback, head coach, and in this case, a star receiver. At some point, and I don't know if we're there yet, it could be the relationship is beyond repairable between the three people that you need to get along?
Somebody's got to go. Between A.J. Brown, Jalen Hurts, and Nick Sirianni, someone's got to go. And it's got to be an answer for what happened last year. The results Philadelphia produced was not commensurate with the talent they had on the field. Howie Roseman put enough talent on the field for them to go out and seriously contend for a Super Bowl. What did they do? Won the same amount of playoff games as the Las Vegas Raiders. That might sound harsh, but to let San Francisco come in and do what happened there because of all the problems they had on offense, coach isn't going anywhere. That would have already happened. Quarterback's not going anywhere. That would have already happened. It's going to have to be the wide receiver. You cannot run this back.
Darlington, get in there.
Well, I think you're saying somebody's got to go. I think you can picture A.J. Brown in the corner right now going, I'll be that guy. I'll go. Guys, I think that, I said it before, but I know we're hearing more silence around this right now, maybe making some people wonder, hey, is A.J. Brown happy? I think silence is actually the golden ticket out. I think that shows you exactly what's happening behind the scenes, that this doesn't need to be as loud and vocal at this point. I think that is usually a sign of resignation and action of things to come. Again, June 1st. Is the key date in all of this surrounding A.J. Brown.
You know, we actually did a hand-raising exercise here at Get Up, and the question was, who doesn't want Jeff Darlington here in New York with us? And it was a weird thing. Everyone was just like...
Listen, I'm the only one wearing shorts right now, boys.
Raise your hand.
I'm the only one.
Darls. Win totals have been set for each team. We're going to play a little more or less. Fort and Ball. Let's start with Baltimore, where the Ravens have more or less wins than the set 11.5, which is the most of any team in the NFL.
I'm going to go less, but it's not one of my more confident plays. This was 10.5. Then they made the deal for Max Crosby. It went up to 11.5. Then they didn't get Max Crosby. Obviously, Hendrickson's a nice consolation prize. This is just a huge number to get to when you have a rookie head coach and a quarterback who has had problems staying healthy. Defensively, they've made some nice moves, but that was a big problem last year. Middle of the pack in EPA and efficiency. I'd lean to the under.
And by the way, 11-7 is a good season, but it also hits the under, so that's something to keep an eye on.
11-7 is also 18 games.
11-6.
If you don't know how to count that, just let us know.
We
can have school before we get on live here, baby.
I just teed up Fort and Ball.
ABC.
Easiest 1, 2, 3. They put together a Super Bowl roster around Lamar.
Honestly, I don't think it's about that when it comes to Lamar Jackson. I think it's about a coach and Jesse Minter who I believe in that can get the best out of his players. We've seen that when he was at Michigan as a defensive coordinator. We've seen it as a defensive coordinator for the Los Angeles Chargers. I think this defense is going to be drastically different than it was the last 2 years when Mike McDonald had departure because of Jesse Minter. And if the defense is playing better, that means that's less points the offense have to score. And I do believe Lamar Jackson understands how important it is to go for the gusto right now.
Yeah, and again, rookie coach, that's going to be a factor. You waltz in there and do that, we'll find out. But Baltimore is certainly one of the most talented teams in the league. All right, more or less for the Dolphins, they gutted everything. More or less than 4.5 wins.
I would go less because I don't understand the purpose of winning 5. You've made it very clear this is a rebuild, so go ahead and just complete the issue at hand. Case in point, if you look at the first round pick, the number 1 overall pick for the team the last 10 years before anybody made any trades, all 10 of those teams that got the first round pick, the number 1 overall pick, they won 4 or fewer games. 9 of them won 3 or fewer games. Miami very clearly is signaling what they want to do. There's no point to winning 5 games here.
Yeah, and you saw the video of Malik Willis there, Darlington. They got him in free agency. They traded away Jalen Waddle. What exactly is the plan in Miami?
Well, the plan is to build the future through value, okay? I understand that people are wondering why even sign Malik Willis? Why keep Devon Achane? You're clearly getting rid of everybody else, but when you look at those 2 players in particular, with Malik Willis, you're taking a chance on a guy for what is actually below quarterback starting money right now. You can find out to a degree what you have. Devon Achane, by the way, a premium position that is the cheapest position really when you talk about bang for your buck in football, that doesn't necessarily equate to bang for your buck on the trade market. So it sort of makes sense in both of those in ways. The one thing I'd say is the tricky part here is why sign Malik Willis if you know that he's not going to be in a position to succeed? They feel like they can put him at least in some position to properly evaluate him.
And hopefully ask him for patience as this rebuild continues. You got to nail it in the draft. You're going to rebuild this thing quicker than many people think. Sure. And we'll finish up with Miami's latest trade partner, the Denver Broncos. Their win total, 9.5. More or less for Peyton and Denver?
I'm going less here. I think there's a big discrepancy between the national narrative around Denver following the Waddle trade, which is people really like this team, and how bettors and bookmakers have priced this team. They've got the third best odds, not in the AFC, but in the AFC West. Take a look at this. We talked about this with the Chiefs last year. One-score games, 11-2. Regression coming on that front. Number two, defensively down the stretch, weren't as much of a stalwart as people thought they were. Number three, the schedule last year was one of the easiest in the NFL, but we were so focused on bashing New England for that, we forgot to focus on Denver. Number four, perhaps more importantly, the quarterback. Bo Nix is all right. He's been all right through a few years. You're going to win 10 games and compete in the AFC. You got to be better than all right. And that's not just words. His completion percentage was like 20th last year. His quarterback rating was 15th. He doesn't take a lot of shots down the field. If you look at his air yards, he's not pushing the ball. Maybe he will with Waddle, but sure. I got a lot of question marks.
To me, that stood out when we were talking this morning. They have the third best win odds in their division, not in the AFC. So Vegas seems to think they'll take a step back. Do you?
From a win total, yes, but I think this is the team that's going to win the AFC West. I believe they had the third best odds entering 2025 as well, and the Denver Broncos shocked the world and won the AFC West when a lot of people didn't think they were going to do so. The addition of Jalen Waddle adds an explosive player to their team that they didn't have last year. They were in the middle of the pack from an average of explosive plays in 2025. But I also believe they're going to hone in more on running the football this season. I think that's another area they can get better at from a season ago. And then you can bring in J.K. Dobbins back. I think R.J. Harvey, now going into his second year, got acclimated to the NFL in his first year. He understands what it's all about.